What was the strangest rule you had to follow when at a friend's house? When I was in middle school, my best friend Madison had this rule at her house that I literally thought was a joke at first. No laughing after 8 p.m. Not like quiet laughter. I mean, no laughing whatsoever. The first time I slept over at Madison's house, we were having the best time. We had just finished watching some dumb movie about talking animals and were absolutely losing it over the terrible CGI. It was around 8:15 p.m. when her mom knocked on the bedroom door. I thought she was bringing us snacks or something, but instead she just stood there with this super serious face. "Girls," she said, "it's after 8. You know the rules, Madison." And Madison literally transformed before my eyes. She went from giggling uncontrollably to straight-faced in like 0.5 seconds. I was so confused but tried to play along, thinking maybe it was some weird inside joke. But when I let out another little giggle, Madison elbowed me hard and whispered, "I'm serious. We can't laugh. My parents will get really mad." Y'all, I thought this was the weirdest thing ever, but whatever. Different families have different rules, right? So I tried to respect it. But do you know how impossible it is to not laugh when you're specifically told you can't laugh? It's like when someone says, "Don't think about elephants." And suddenly all you can think about are elephants wearing tutus and doing ballet. For the rest of the night, we just watched TV in complete silence. No jokes, no funny comments, nothing. Madison's parents would randomly open the door throughout the night to check on us, but I knew they were making sure we weren't laughing. It was honestly creepy AF. The next morning at breakfast, Madison and her parents were suddenly all smiles and laughter. Her dad was making dad jokes and her mom was giggling. I was sitting there like LOL WTF. When I asked Madison about it later, she just shrugged and said, "We're not allowed to laugh after 8. That's just how it is." She wouldn't explain why, just that it had always been that way. I ended up sleeping over at Madison's house many times over the next 2 years, and every single time the same thing happened. 8 p.m. hit and it was like someone flipped a switch. No laughter allowed. I got better at controlling myself, but there were a few close calls. The worst was when Madison's older brother Jasper came home from college one weekend. He didn't know I was there and started telling this hilarious story about his roommate's disaster date. I was biting my cheek so hard I thought they would bleed, and Madison was kicking me under the table. It was 8:30 p.m. and her parents were giving us the look. But the night that everything came to a head was during our final sleepover before high school. Madison and I were looking through old photos and found one of us from a Halloween party where I had tripped and fallen face first into a bowl of punch. It was 8:10 p.m. I couldn't help it. I laughed. Not just a giggle. A full-on, uncontrollable, tears streaming down my face howl of laughter. Madison looked terrified. She tried to shush me, but it was too late. Her dad burst through the door like the freaking Kool-Aid man, and I swear to God the temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. "Get out," he said to me. Not yelling. Almost worse than yelling. Just this cold, quiet command. Madison was crying, begging him to let me stay, saying it was her fault for showing me the photo. But he wasn't having it. I had to call my mom to pick me up at 8:30 at night, and Madison's parents wouldn't even let me wait inside. It took her almost a month before she finally told me the truth about the no laughing after 8 p.m. rule. Are you ready for this? Because I wasn't. When Madison was little, her grandmother lived with them. She had this rare neurological condition where sudden noises could trigger seizures. Laughter was the worst trigger, and she would go to bed at 8 p.m. every night. The rule started as a way to keep her safe. Her grandmother had passed away 3 years before I even met Madison. The family just kept following the rule. Out of habit. Out of respect. Out of inability to move on. IDK.